Hi everyone, welcome to our project video analysis series. Today we will be talking about Dunearn House again. It's our part 2 for this lovely project at the Bukit Timah precinct. This project, of course, Kenneth and myself will be diving deep today into a few important scopes. Firstly, we'll talk about the site plan, the model, all the very nitty-gritty details that you don't get to know unless you visit the show flat. And also, we'll be talking about the land bid prices and the price protection that we have for Dunearn House. And last but not least, we will be giving you very juicy highlights on the Dunearn House layouts because this is what we want to share to the consumers with regards to the efficiency that we see in Dunearn House. So without further ado, we will kickstart with our presentation. Firstly, we want to share a little bit about these three things that we will talk about in Dunearn House will be the location, the project model, which I'll dive deep, as well as the transformation part. So Kenneth will bring you through about the location of Dunearn House and why the Old Turf City estate is so charming.
Over here, we have the location map of Dunearn House. Dunearn House is located in District 11 and in the private residential area of Swiss Club. And this is the first project in the Swiss Club area for the last 33 years.
Oh wow, so for you to know, I used to loiter around this Swiss Club area. It's so-called the old rich people because the landed there is no joke. It's where your GCBs are, your really very large floor plate landed properties, and they are right at the Swiss Club. And for 33 years, no joke. I think all of them are like even older than most of us in terms of age. And this is the first time we have one development that's so close to this area.
So if you were to stay here, you can guarantee you are surrounded by good cast bungalows, very low density, livable with large greenery in this whole area. And this project is the first project within the Turf City transformation.
Wow.
It has about 380 units. 300 units in this area is considered quite big because all the projects around this area are all boutique projects. We're talking about like 50 or under 100 unit kind of projects over here.
Right.
So at 380 units, it's one of the largest projects in District 11.
So over here, you also enjoy this particular part where we talk about like schools. What are the schools that we can see at this area?
Let me zoom in. Over here, you can see that this is the plot of Dunearn House. We are very near to the 6th Avenue MRT and also the Turf City MRT station, which is under construction now. It will be ready upon TOP of Dunearn House,
which is around 2030. So this particular transformation part is going to come to pass because when I was doing projects like 4th Avenue Residences and Royal Green, people already started to paint the picture that, oh wow, there's going to be transformation, this is going to be advantage to you. They are selling that dream many years ago, but this dream is going to actualize because the MRT will be the first telltale evidence that this place is really up for transformation.
And back to the prestigious school. So what we have here, as you can see, is Nanyang Girls. So next is National JC, Raffles Girls, Hwa Chong, and Nanyang Primary St. Margaret Secondary. They are all within the Bukit Timah
area. Also, I think one of the nearest school that we are looking at is Methodist Girls School, MGS. Currently, we are not entirely sure whether they will be 1 kilometer. It's possibly because there was this old address called 700 Dunearn Road, which is very near Dunearn House. That particular building is 1 kilometer near Dunearn, that area. So we foresee that if let's say one map approves next year in June, we'll be seeing Dunearn House possibly 1 kilometer near to that school itself.
Before we go into the next sharing, if you have any questions, please remember to scan our QR code, reach out to me or Brian. We are more than happy to share more information with you.
Now, he will also share with you a little bit more about the Turf City map and why this transformation is so exciting.
What we know so far that the government has announced, this whole Turf City transformation, there will be between 15 to 20,000 public and private housing to be built in this whole area. And more importantly, is the MRT station that we just shared. And there will be 22 heritage buildings that will be conserved to retain the heritage of this area. And of course, the whole Turf City feel will still be retained. You have a lot of views of the greens that you can see.
So I foresee that this transformation is going to be like a new town. Now you see we have 22 heritage buildings. It means that this heritage building I foresee will be like what we seen last time at New Baru, where they conserve the old school into a very hip place for cafes, for retail. I'm so excited about this place. Why am I excited? Because Dunearn is the first plot And while it's the first plot, already seen that the second plot is already being awarded. And subsequently, I think in years to come, before Dunearn is fully completed, more plots will come in. And this particular Turf City will be really truly vibrant.
First mover advantage. Just now we shared about the conservation. So as you can see, these are the few buildings that will be conserved. We have yet to announce what are the offerings that you will have in this venue. But rest assured that as for the grandstand, it is huge. So I believe there will be a lot of exciting things coming up over there.
I think importantly is also when we talk about all these conserved buildings, it draws a little bit of roots back to our past. I haven't really seen the actual race house before it was closed down and moved to Kranji, but I am sure that a lot of our parents, our relatives, our uncles, aunties would have actually had a time in space there to see the horse racing.
I remember the best is the Pasabella. There was this like an Australia marketplace in Grandstand, if you remember.
That was when the Turf City ceased as a race course. I think back then it was not a place where I remember my uncle goes there for his automobile business where they go and buy cars, go for servicing. It's a lovely place, very quiet and tranquil. So right now I'll come to this portion because it is something that I know very well because I'm involved in many projects at company level. Right now, I think the show model will tell you a few important things. If you look carefully here, these 3 blocks here or 3 towers here, they are the shorter towers. They are up to level 10. Thereafter, we had the 2 taller ones that they are up to level 19. One thing you need to know is that this particular development, we are north-south facing. So north-south facing will tell you that there will be very good ventilation from the north wind season, the south wind season, and also you won't have any west sun. I think that's something to know. So the shorter buildings that we are talking about, towers here, are the luxury collection. So luxury means that they are very efficient in size, good materials, they are really done up there nicely. And the pinnacle, of course, they are a little of a higher in terms of luxury level because they are our 3-bedroom premium plus study as well as our 4-bedroom units. So for this particular 2 towers, if you take the southern view, you'll get to see the 6th Avenue. Then over here, the northern view, you'll get to see the grandstand and all the remaining buildings or the future buildings of the old Turf City. Just to let you know, the entire length of this development in terms of building to building is about 11 meters across each of this building. Right now, I also want to share that this particular development has quite a lot of side gates. So the first side gate here is directly at the corner for you to walk downwards towards the MRT, the 6th Avenue MRT, which is just 4 minutes. But if you want to take another side gate over here, you can go to the Swiss Club bus stop, which is a very short walk. So this is to the bus stop, this is to the MRT. Then this is of course the side gate that is at the main entrance, so people can choose to come here, go out and whatever. But importantly, why this side gate is here? Because this side gate in future you can cross here is to the second plot that is being awarded to Wing Tai. This second plot here will have a level 1 mixed commercial utility. Means that in future they might have a small supermarket, they might have your Asahi boat shops, your Yakun. You can just cross, you'll reach already. But more importantly is that the developer already get license for a side gate behind here. Why is this so important? Because in future when you go towards the north, as I mentioned, is where the Turf City MRT is all about, where you can also access to the conserved buildings as such. So to me, right, having 4 side gates in the development will truly tell you that this development has a lot of accessibility to various directions that you want to go. Of course, this particular development has a few nice features that we will share later because it's just these bubbles just show you all what we have. I think the most important part is that besides the drop-off that is around here, this particular development, we have our clubhouse all concentrated at the front near the drop-off area. But because of the way it's designed, this show flat model shows a treetop walk that is integrated together with your clubhouses as well as your gym. And this is actually your forest playground, which is about 60 meters. It's very wide. So to me, it's actually a very nice play area for the kids. Then we have a 15-meter slab pool in between these 2 luxury collection blocks. And also, we also have your tropical wellness pool area, which is a smaller pool, but more for rejuvenation. And last but not least, behind here will be our cascade forest, because this particular landscaping behind will have your waterfall trickling down from the walls, and you have a shorter treetop walk, and you really have oasis or even a nature within your doorstep. Just as I mentioned to you already, our views in the southern portion, you'll get to see 6th Avenue. On the northern part, you will see the grandstand and the whole old Turf City. So these are some of the images that we have. We cannot send you pictures of the show flat and the model, but I will say that for Fraser's illustration, most of the time, by the time you TOP, you look exactly like the same. So this drop-off is quite grand. They have a lot of greenery, a very nice drop-off point that is a roundabout that you can drop off and you can start to move up from this direction towards your clubhouse. And here, actually, you can visit the other blocks based on the walkway over here. Then, as I mentioned to you, we have a very big gym. The gym is about 78 square meter and the height is 3.8. So you can just imagine it won't be overcrowded. It means that at a 380 unit development with such a big gym, I'm sure that you want to do your yoga, you want to do your running and all this, or even your heavy lifting, you won't feel that it's so congested. I've been to some boutique developments, especially at Bukit Timah. It's mostly boutique. Their gym, I think most of the time, you can take in about 3 to 4 people. And this is like 78. I think 10 people can work out there and still have some space. That, as I told you, that they also have an outdoor fitness area which is next to the gym. So you come from the gym, there's a side door, there's this outdoor workout area. Then this outdoor workout area is to see the greenery that the developer has actually planted in the development itself. So you want this aesthetic kind of training, your cardio or whatever, you can actually do it over here. It's pretty good. Then we have our Dunearn Clubhouse, which is at level 2, also part of the gym area, just next to each other. It's so large, and you have this particular view that you have for the clubhouse oversees the 50-meter slab pool, which is amazing. You can get to see the clubhouse is here. This is the pool. So I feel that this particular way they design it reminds me of Tembusu Grand when they had this, like the clubhouse overlooking the water. So this is very truly a good view of your workout space. Then, of course, the kids' pool, which is also next to the adults' pool as well, is a small, nice one, shallow, but surrounded with greenery. Then this is also the adventure play that I mentioned. It's about 60 meters long. So your kids can actually play from one side to another side and they get themselves entertained in such a nice play area. Then we have the wellness pool, as I mentioned to you, much smaller, but then it is pretty nice for rejuvenation, relaxing. Something that we want to share with you as well. It's in between the luxury collection as well as the pinnacle collection. Then, as I told you, behind the pinnacle collection, we have this cascade walkway. This is actually where I thought about this nice waterfall area where the water will cascade down, and you have a waterfall club. So you can invite your guests over for a nice dinner, a celebration, and you can get to see a nice waterfall cascading down from the walls of this Dunearn House. So this is like something that I mentioned, like the cascade forest. I feel it will be very charming by the time it's TOP, and you can relax next to it and listen to the water trickling down from the walls. Very luxurious kind of design. So right now, we'll actually share with you about the unit mix and also the percentage. This is something we shared in our previous part 1, but I think he can go a little bit detailed into the numbers, the stacks and so on.
So over here, the luxury collection consists of 236 units, which is about 62%, and the pinnacle collection has about 144 units, 38%. I think about 50% will be actually 2 bedrooms.
So you notice that actually this development has no one-bedder. So I think we are very safe. Like last time when we mentioned, when the development has a lot of one-bedder, the one-bedder tend not to do very well, and most of the time they will sell with very little profit and hence pull down the overall transacted price and also the meaningful volume of the transaction. So with a base of a 2-bedroom as the smallest unit, I foresee that the price will continue to go stronger.
So we have a site plan for this development. So as you can see, more than 60% of the units are all actually in the corner. When it's in the corner, the benefit is you get cross ventilation. And one very important thing that we want to share with you is actually the land price of Dunearn House. You can see that the developer bought the land at 1410 per square foot. So it is the lowest land bid in the whole CCR region. In fact, it is even lower than some of the RCR projects that has already been bidded. And in fact, the recent in Newton area, Big Hay Road, which just last month it got bidded
1865. That is a very high price. So 1865 versus our 1410 is a good $455 in terms of the price difference. So Kenneth will also share with you, if you miss another house, what you expected to pay. But before that, I'll jump into this because I told you, right, the adjacent plot was being bidded by Wing Thai. Wing Thai didn't bid the land cheaper or slightly more expensive. They bid about close to 15% higher, which is about $215 PPR, which means that if you miss Dunearn House, you want to wait for the next plot of Dunearn House. We probably share the same kind of views or the attributes of the macroscopic environmental pleasures that you will see. You are going to expect to pay about at least $215 more for just the next plot.
As you can see, in 2026, Dunearn House is 1410. if you're gonna miss this in 2027 or 28, when the recently bidded land plots are launched, we are actually looking at
A lot more higher. Just
about 20 to 30% price gap.
So for example, like Dover side, I just want to highlight this. This is no joke. So if let's say, for example, if Dunearn House, you're going to buy a 101 square feet house, I don't know how much will it be, but you're going to expect to pay 146,000 more for the Dover side, which is at Buona Vista. Then the next plot next to us is $215,000 more. Then the River Valley Parcel C, which is the one next to River Modern, is 320,000.
So we should be expecting a very good response for Dunearn House with all this.
I think response or not response is one thing. It's really up to the consumers. But I feel that if you are someone that wants to buy into a value buy, these sites are all pretty good. I'm not saying that they are not good. I would love to stay in a Pei Hei site because it's next to Newton MRT. Just literally go downstairs next to Newton MRT. I drive downwards maybe about 8 minutes or 6 minutes, I'll reach Orchard. But the kind of premium you pay means, for example, if the 1,000 square feet unit that I'm buying, let's say it hypothetically is at 3 million, I had to pay 455,000 more just for the Pei Hei site. So if let's say I get a 4-bedroom, the number gets even bigger. I might even need to pay about 600 plus K to even 700 plus K just for the difference because of the land cost. So I think it's something that maybe consumers can think about. If you were to really like a CCR area and D11, you like the convenience of MRT and the transformation story, I think our land cost is pretty attractive. It's something that you should not miss.
So now we go into the floor plan comparison. So let's start with the 2 bedrooms. We have 3 kinds. The 2 bedroom, which is 2 bed, 1 bath, 2 bedroom premium, 2 bed, 2 bath, and also 2 bedroom with study. So as you can see, the 2 bedroom premium plus study, they're all in the corner, meaning they have good ventilation with windows, and the 2 bedroom and 2 bedroom premium will be located in the middle.
So likelihood there will be your dumbbell layouts because that's going to be more efficient if you are located at the center.
So over here, we have the 2 bed, 1 bath. We have 4 stacks, 17, 32, 24, and 25. Size is 527 square feet. So being a 527 square feet, it has actually a enclosed kitchen.
Wow.
Right? And the bedrooms are very decent size. For the common bedroom, we are talking about 9 square meter, and the master bedroom, we are talking about 10 square meter.
Very sizable.
And you have a dedicated dining area. You can lean against the wall, so it feels you really have
privacy. Not galley kitchen.
Next, we have the 2 bedroom premium. 2 bedroom premium size is 614. So the main difference that you will see is, of course, the additional bathroom over here. And also you have a slightly bigger kitchen as well as the living area. And next, this is another 2 bedroom premium layout. The show flat, we are having this 667 square feet layout, but the main difference is actually on the foyer area. So for someone who prefers more privacy, you can go for this 678 square feet layout. That gives you more privacy at the entrance.
So I'll come to the 3-bedroom layouts because I think this particular segment do pay some attention to it, because this is where families or people who want more space you will really like, because we have up to 4 different subtypes. So this will be very useful for those consumers who really want space. So now the first unit type that we are talking about is the C1 model that is at 872 square feet. This particular layout is actually pretty efficient, because when you look at it, once you go in this foyer, you have space that you can put up your carpentry or do up some storage area. But you enter here, one thing I want to highlight is that this is actually a corner unit. They have cross ventilation at the kitchen, the common bathroom, as well as the master bathroom. But at 872 square feet, they also have a home shelter for the consumer. Means that if you have things you want to store, books or even dry stuff, you can actually all store here. And it's actually very good, because most of the 872 square feet houses in the market currently at the non-harmonization projects that we see, they are usually at about 926 square feet, 936 square feet. They do not have bomb shelter and their storage space is very limited. So for this particular layout, I think it's very efficient, because all the common bedrooms are about 9 square meter and the master bedroom is about 12 square meter. So to me, I think it's a pretty efficient layout. And because at this size, we were expecting that if the PSF ranges from maybe 3,000, 3,003, it's still a unit that you can purchase below $3 million. I think that's very attractive. And now if you want slightly more space, then we also have the 3-bedroom flexi. It's 936 square feet. So this 936 square feet, what happens is that instead of the home shelter, they actually do this as a flexi room. So this flexi room, I think it's fantastic because the walls can be hacked. This project is a non-prefabricated project, means that the internal walls and the segments are not joined in the PVVC manner. So in other words, all the walls could be hacked that you can reconfigure for your own stay requirements. So for example, right now over at the hall, right, you put a 6-seater. If you hack away this wall, this flexi area, you can put up to maybe 10-seater, or put up a door, close it up, right, can become a maid's room. Or you can actually even half hack this wall to have glass and become a real study. So this flexi, I think at 936 square feet is also really attractive because the room size is the same as what you see in the 872. You have 9, 9 and 12. So to me, I think this is something that consumers can go for as well. So if you really like what we have in the show flat unit, we have two types. But show flat unit size is slightly smaller. That is actually at 947 square feet. This particular layout, I like it because I in the show flat. So once you go in here, of course, the kitchen is also enclosable with also ventilation. There's a window for ventilation, then the bathroom as well. But importantly is that this particular layout has a study. There's 3 square meter, but this location of the study is very close to the master bedroom. So actually you can hack off the internal wall and you can enclose this whole area up to become like a walk-in wardrobe. So if not, this can be truly a study. This could also be a storage area. Depends on how much space you want to utilize. And as I mentioned to you, this particular development is non-PVC. You can exercise your creativity to actually reconfigure the living space that you want. But this 947 square feet only have one stack, so it's stack 15. So let's say you really this configuration, there's another one which is stack 10. This one is at 969 square feet. The added space actually is this floor here. This floor is a little bit longer, but you can also erect up storage space here. So this is something like a variant. So for the 3-bedroom premium plus study, we have 2 types. Then of course, we have the 3-bedroom premium, which is your CP1 kind of layout. This layout, the additional point is that it definitely have a larger hall area. It comes with a dry kitchen. And your kitchen is bigger. Then your WC will have a window for cross ventilation. The room types are also bigger because this one will become 14 square meter in terms of size. So I think this is something more luxurious. It's above 1000 square feet for sure.
So I'll share the 4-bedroom. Same thing, we have 3 types of 4-bedroom, which is located in the Pinnacle block. So you can see that all the Pinnacle block is all the big units. So I'll start with the 4-bedroom, I would say the basic one. For stack 1 and stack 2, size is 1184 square feet. Over here, we do have a 4-bedroom, we have landscape layout. From wall to wall over here, it's actually 5 meter.
Wow.
So 5 meter is actually very spacious.
If you get a good wide view, because when we mentioned about these Pinnacle blocks, they are facing either the south, the 6th Avenue, or facing the north, that is a grandstand. So obviously you want to have a very nice visual view of the facing that you are buying into.
So for this basic 4-bedroom, it already comes with a dry kitchen and with wet kitchen, bomb shelter. All the common rooms are 9 square meter and the master room is 14 square meter. So next we will have the 4-bedroom premium. Size is 1302 and 1313. The main difference is you have a bigger kitchen. Now that you can see there's an island kitchen in the middle and you have a bifold door.
This kind of layout for the bifold door in the kitchen, actually we went to see some projects before like Pragmat Peak. They had the same kind of layout, or Avenir, they are like this. So when this happens, actually when you host a party in the living room, your living room space becomes a lot more bigger visually.
And the master room's 15 square meter.
Yes, it's a 1 square meter upgrade from the previous 1184 square feet.
And lastly, this is the showroom unit, which is the 4-bedroom plus study. Size is 1378, the biggest unit over here. You can see that they have a bigger kitchen of 15 square meter and you have the largest bedroom of 17 square meter. And same thing as what Brian shared earlier, you can actually hack this study if you need more storage space or even do up a
walk-in wardrobe.
And for these 2 4-bedroom premium, it has double his and her sink.
Very premium. So this is actually our last slide for this presentation. Because we did part 1, part 2 is really giving you the technical portion about this project. A lot of our colleagues are actually very excited about this launch. This launch will be on the 10th of July. This day that we are doing this, right, next week will be its preview already. But I just want to say that if you are really keen to really know more more about this project, our show flat location is located at the MOE Stadium area at Evans Road opposite, and you can actually walk in to take a look. Either you can contact me or Kenneth for more details. I think the USP, as you mentioned a lot more earlier, this is our QR code to scan for more information. It's really about the land cost comparing to a lot of other CCR or RCR areas. Low land cost does give the developer the elasticity and opportunity to sell a project at the right price. Then the next thing is also we are looking at transformation. Transformation always brings new things and more value towards a particular development's fate in the near future.
And being the first project in this location, I think you will truly take advantage of the pricing and also the transformation that you will see over the years.
And I think lastly also is that this particular development, your neighbor has already bid at a higher price. So think about like
Price protection.
the price protection. To me is wow, you are actually instantly getting a 15% lower cost product compared to your neighbors. So with that, we come to the end of our sharing. So thank you for tuning into this YouTube channel. So we see you in our next video analysis. Goodbye.
Bye.